The other new character from this update, QUASAR, Wendell Vaughan, Homelander, whatever you want to call him, the milkman. He's here, and he's an odd bird. I will say that. He's absolutely an odd bird. He is a premium character. He is not available just yet to unlock, so if you're waiting for that, you still have to wait another 3 days. I was going to wait to make this video when he is unlockable for free, but I'll just make like a reminder video or something like that, because I think you guys need to see his performance now before you spend the tokens unlocking him. Now, you'll be able to get him for free through the Annihilators event token, which, like I said, is in 3 days, once the current 3.5 days, once the current token event is done. And it's going to probably be 50 tokens for 5 bios, and then you'll have to use rank up tickets, yada, 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 or you're going to have to get a bio subscription, which is what I had to do after I failed getting him from the boxes twice, in order to unlock him. Now, here's why Quendel is a weird character. He seems to have really good, he has really good passives, right? 30% guaranteed dodge, skill damage, bonus damage is high. He's got extra energy attack. He's got fat 40% all defense with super armor and 30% damage reduction. And then he has an Annihilator's leadership. Now, as of right now, there is no other character in the game with any sort of Annihilator's buffs. And there's actually quite a few characters that fit the bill as Annihilators, where they just added this brand new tag to the game. So if you take a look here, we have, of course, Wendell, Quendel, and Icon. We have Gladiator, we have Beta Ray Bill, we have Ronin, and we have the big dog himself, Silver Surfer. Now, I don't want to get people too crazy with this speculation, but from what I've heard from a few unconfirmed sources, they believe that the tier 4 in the mid-month, which is about a week and a half from now, that tier 4 will also have the Annihilator's tag. Taking a look at who's left that doesn't have the Annihilator's tag, it pretty much has to be Silver Surfer. Now, I know that that's a huge alarm bell to ring for most players if I'm telling you, hey guys, there's a chance Silver Surfer is the next tier 4. And you might be looking and saying, wow, Quendel is going to have a leadership that gives Silver Surfer and all other Annihilators 40% HP and debuff cleanse. That's a very, very strong leadership. That's a really good leadership. And it only applies to these clowns. Right now, really, realistically, the only 3 PvP characters here are Wendell, Wendell, Icon, and maybe Surfer, right? Because Gladiator didn't get iframe ignore. But that remains to be seen. Okay, that does remain to be seen here. So Quendel does have a lot of stuff going for him. You take a look at his rotation here. If you're going to play him for PvE content, and you see that he actually has a really nice, really clean combo. It's just 5-3-4, no hits at the beginning. So all the hits rack up. So he's very proc friendly. You can see there the counter on the right side doesn't start until I press 4. So super proc friendly, right? Here's the problem. He just doesn't do any damage, bro. He just doesn't do any damage. It's a lot of hits. 83 hits is really nice, but it's just not it's not enough damage. Yeah, it's not enough damage. You can see here delaying them really doesn't do anything. It actually just reduces your chain hit. Now, chain hit is not that important if you don't have chain hit, which in this case Wendell doesn't. But you still want to proc, right? So he's very proc friendly, and then he's got, of course, that same awakening skill as Icon. He's got fast movement and energy projection. But here's the thing: there's 2 problems here with Wendell for PvE for any PvE content. He's not available for any stages that are interesting. He doesn't do anything for null until 65, and I don't mean to break your hearts here, but he cannot do stage 65. I'll take you into this stage to show you what's going on. Okay. Please brace yourself. So it's 6, cancel 5, cancel 3, cancel 4. It's a very easy rotation. Again, another very easy character to play. I'm really happy that he's so easy to play. But that's the damage. 2.5 bars with the awakening skill. Right? They are actually, surprisingly, missed the proc, and I did less than a bar. But even when he hits the proc, it's like he doesn't do any damage. For some reason, I missed twice now. Very unusual. I did a bunch of practicing with him and didn't miss at all. But the thing is, his hits just don't last long enough. He doesn't have... 80 hits can be enough, but because he doesn't have any lingering damage, there's just not... see, the burst is over so quickly. The burst is over so quickly that it's just... there's not enough damage. In a minute, he's averaging 2 bars or 10 bars a minute. It's absolutely wild. So, yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything in PvE. The best I could do for you is stage 19 of Ultron. Okay, I'm going to showcase this. Genuinely speaking, I think this is the best option for him, because again, once you get past the first 3 world bosses, regular level 70 tier 3s for the most part don't cut it. So you can see the damage here is really good. Obviously, I'm using 2 insane supports with both Nick Fury and Coulson, and Coulson's is seasonal, so that's kind of a no-go for some players. But he has basically zero, non-existent damage on 1 and 2. I can't even notice the bar moving when I'm using those 2 skills, and so it's just 5-3-4, right? It's really just 5-3-4, and then of course whenever the awakening skill is up, I don't know why 5 didn't press there. That's okay. We're just gonna wait for the next rotation anyways. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame too. They really should have tweaked his damage a little bit more, because he's really easy to play and he's got nice animations. It's just that, man, the damage sucks. Look, the targeting's bad. If the enemy moves, he doesn't know how to follow them, so he blasts in the wrong direction. Like, he has no directionality. They really could have given him like V-pad. They should have like 3x'd his damage. I mean, that guy kind of goes without saying. This should be like 2 or 3 times higher, considering he's a premium character. I think they're really banking on his leadership, which is why I did want to talk about more at the beginning of the video the possibility of Silver Surfer getting a tier 4, because if you're going to build Wendell, you want that Annihilator's leadership, right? You want Wendell's leadership for the Annihilators to actually matter. Right now, his leadership doesn't really matter. Like, you're telling me you're gonna build up Wendell for the leadership in PvP for him and Icon, because Beta Ray Bill's not PvP, Ronin's not PvP, obviously, right? All you have left is Gladiator, right? And Gladiator, yeah, without iframe ignore, unlikely that he'll make much noise in PvP, despite having the auto healing and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it really will matter if Silver Surfer is the tier 4 and how strong he is. But again, I want to point out that Silver Surfer has the same leadership as Wendell that just applies to all allies minus the HP. Now, the HP, don't get me wrong, the HP is a big deal. 40% HP is not a small amount of HP. That's a huge number. But, if you have to sacrifice a slot on your team, and you guys know how competitive PvP is nowadays, you can't really sacrifice a slot on your team for Wendell. Just for him to give Silver Surfer 40% HP and then get crumpled into dust and die, right? You have to run 3 meta characters for the most part in PvP, like 3 strong characters. You can run like double, triple reflect if you want, but that's like a specific strategy, right? If you're not running a specific strategy like that, then you have to just run your 3 strongest heroes. Very likely that if Silver Surfer gets I don't know what Wendell's doing over there. Very likely if Silver Surfer gets a tier 4, he will be very good for PvP. But then again, that leaves you with the option of using his leadership and then not having to worry about Quendel at all, versus using Wendell. I keep calling him Quendel. I know, I'm doing it on purpose, guys. Using Quendel and then sacrificing a spot, because I have some more bad news for you guys. So you guys sort of get the point here, right? He can clear the stage, but it's a very low stage, right? Now, it's not a very amazing build. I should have covered the build here before we went into the PvE stuff. The build is not out of this world. I'm going to switch teams here so his stats reset here. But you can see he's got just over 100,000 HP, which is nice, and just under 60,000 energy attack. His defenses are low. That's part of the problem. But you can see there I've got a bunch of 6-star Uru, energy attack, and HP. We've got the stage 12 Power Ranger Hulk. We got the type 5 rank enhancement. No artifact. Which I believe is a support artifact as well for Annihilator's allies. So yeah, he does have like he sort of double dips on support there between the leadership and the artifact. And then we just had an ignore, dodge, invincibility, 140 proc. So 140, I know is not that high. It's not 200. He could probably go a little bit higher. But again, like, where is he going to go, right? He doesn't have very advantageous typing. Universal human heroes don't have a lot of stages in the male category. And then he's got, fast movement and energy protection are good for very high stages, and like they're good for like Jean and Kang. This guy's not doing Jean and Kang, let's be real, So yeah, so we're gonna switch him over to a PvP build. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of options for him for PvP, so we're gonna start off with an obelisk and see if he can do anything, because we do have this guard break 4-second invincibility obelisk. I don't have high hopes, but then again, Icon surprised us. And we're going to be using this team in PvP. Now, this team is obviously a meme. Colossus is here to reduce the damage. Red She-Hulk is additional damage reduction and HP. But if you combine Red She-Hulk with his leadership, you can see he's now rocking a whopping 146,000 HP. Now, I wish his energy attack was higher so he could reflect more, because remember, he has reflect. But that's basically the key here, is you're trying to leverage his reflect. However, I wasn't able to do so. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to be playing manually because there's no way in hell this dude is playing on auto. Okay, but it's not pretty. Okay, it's not pretty. We're spamming 3 as soon as it comes up. I'm getting guard breaking like crazy. I'm spamming 5. Okay, he's got no iframe ignore. So I'm just trying to trigger the heals. We're just going from one heal skill to another, basically. Right? And we're just going from one, and I'm dead. Okay. You managed to kill 1 life of gore. That's not good. That's terrible. It's really not good. And I understand, you know, if you're, you know, I understand he's just a tier 3 character. Like, he's just a transcended character. He's not a tier 4, okay? And I understand I didn't give him a CTP for PvP, and I tell you guys that, oh, like, PvP is like kind of the baseline for PvP. But here's the thing. If he can barely kill 1 life of a tier 3 gore, there's just no way. He's not fighting tier 4s here, right? He's fighting tier 3s. So you gotta recognize what's going on. If he can't do that, then he's sort of screwed, right? He's screwed. So he just killed himself to reflect. To Ancient One's reflect. Okay, that blows my mind. I mean, I kind of knew that would happen but at the same time, I didn't think it was gonna happen. Like, I know Ancient One has reflect. I just didn't think that was gonna happen. And to be honest, it's good that happened, because that reminds you, why would you build Wendell when you could just slap Ancient One on your team? Still has the threat of reflect, right? Even though it's only energy reflect. But instead of being useless otherwise, she has, you know, let's try the 5 here. He's going to get iframed, okay, and then he's going to die, okay. Ancient One has all those support buffs, right? The increased elemental damage, the increased resistance, the ignore dodge. She's actually useful. Wendell is so bad. There's nothing I can, like, I would have to give him a brilliant CTP, and I'm not going to do that for the sake of this review. I'm not giving, like, maybe with that CTP, that brilliant regen with all that extra 28% defense, 38% HP, maybe he could tank long enough to kill like 1 of Jean's. But again, why would you suffer all that shit, right? Why would you suffer, bro? No, Hulk is gonna clap my, oh boy. Why would you suffer all that shit, right? There's just no point. There's just no point in suffering all this shit for no reason when you just don't have to, right? There's just no point. I'm dead. Okay. Yeah. He's so bad. I know he doesn't reflect. Oh, actually, he has all reflect. So he could have reflected Hulk. But he can't as well, because Hulk does damage with his 4th skill where he's iframe. Listen, this whole reflect thing, the devs have to be careful, because Wendell exposes their inability to understand how reflect works. If enemies are constantly in iframe, then reflect doesn't work, right? So you have to sort of recognize the playing field and balance it to the playing field. You don't give Wendell enough defense to tank anything, right? And you don't give him iframe ignore to deal with characters who are iframing him. What is he supposed to do, right? What is he supposed to do? He can't do anything. He literally can't do anything. This is probably the most hilarious matchup I've had thus far. But again, I'm playing manually, and he's hanging in there. I'll give him that. He's hanging in there. But when does the reflect happen? Okay, I'm gonna kill myself right now to reflect. Oh no. Okay, against like old, dead, begotten metas. Holy shit! Quendell, my boy. Quendell comes through in the clutch against some circus team. Yeah, so against the meta from 2 years ago, Wendell's great. I think that's how I'm going to end this showcase, because that was awesome. But it was A, just practice, and B, against someone in like the Wood League or the fucking Dust League. I don't even know. I went way far left for that one. I don't see this guy doing anything. And the other thing is, anything he can do, can't Icon just do it better? That's the other thing. Icon has the reflect. which for the most part is only going to work against energy damage dealing characters anyways. Most physical damage characters, and especially the ones in the meta right now, Wolverine, Spider-Man, they don't have a lot of lingering damage. Lingering damage is generally an energy attack thing because of the way that the devs designed the game. Thanos might be the only one with a lot of lingering damage, maybe Carnage a little bit, but it's, again, Wendell can't even survive that long, so it doesn't really matter. And then on top of that, Icon has iframe ignore and counter. So it's just a better package overall. She also has 100... Oh, no, she doesn't have a 100% chance to penetrate. She actually doesn't have penetration at all. That's the thing. That's the one thing I would say. Besides the leadership, that's what Quendel does have. He has 33% chance to penetrate. But again, it's kind of frustrating they gave him 33% chance to penetrate. That's basically the exact same you'd get from a CTP of Destruction, a Mighty or a Brilliant Destruction. So, yeah, I feel like he is, you know, just a miss character. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good enough. Obviously, he may be, I mean, who knows? Depending on how strong they make other Annihilators, this lead could be powerful, depending on how much they tweak the ban lists for something like Otherworld Battle. Maybe you could see an Annihilators team crop up. Because what? No, that wouldn't matter. It's a leadership. It's not going to apply to Otherworld Battle. Skip the Otherworld Battle shit that I just said. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was a missed character. I feel like they needed to tweak his offense and defense more. They need to buff him basically for him to be useful at this level. He's not really going to be useful for like 90% of rosters unless you want to do some meme stuff and play on manual, or you're just like some AC head and you just need another body. Anyways, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.